Hey everyone, this is Randall, and welcome to Battle Report number 19 in our A Song of Ice and Fire Battle Report series. In this battle, I'm playing with a local player named Steven at the Forge in Houston, Texas. We'll be playing the Dance with Dragons game mode. Now, let's have a look at each player's army, and then take a look at deployments and my initial assumptions going into this game. I brought along a Greyjoy army led by Victarion Greyjoy. Greyjoys were my first faction in the game and remain one of my favorites. This was my first Greyjoy game since the release of the Season 3 update, so I was pretty excited to see how the massive changes to the faction affected them on the battlefield. I brought along a list that is not much different than what I would have brought along prior to the faction rework. I got a lot more attachment happy than I may have otherwise prior to the update. Since bowmen can no longer generate pillage from ranged attacks, I stuck Euron in them to at least allow them to pass off 2 pillage. I also brought along Reavers, where I might not have brought them in the previous version of the game. I brought along some trappers and put the Baelor Blacktide attachment in them to give them boldness and courage, so their attack dice will remain fairly high. Then he also gives them unyielding, so they'll take fewer panic wounds as they get whittled down. Now that trappers can always dish out 1 token regardless of whether they have any pillage, I felt this improved their survivability enough not to try to invest a bunch of more points into them, to help them in their defense. Being able to throw a weekend token out every round, no matter how many pillage tokens they have, is going to be pretty big for them. On the NCU side, Balon is now almost an auto-include for his improved ability to bring a dead unit back to the battlefield. I brought along Trusty Wendemir, even though he received a nerf, no longer allowing him to begin the game with an order token. Varys dropped in points, so I brought him along as well. I'd rarely used Varys before this version of the game, so we'll see whether I remember to use his order tokens when I should. My opponent Steven brought a Mag the Mighty monster list. His list is stacked with 3 Savage Giants, Mag himself, and a War Mammoth. On the NCU side, he has only Craster and Lady Val. Mag the Mighty is an absolute force of nature, so killing him will be a top priority for me. The Savage Giants, on the other hand, are pretty pillow-fisted until they get beaten up. So to deal with the Savage Giants, I'll probably just let them wail away on me while I focus them down one by one. The Mammoth is the biggest X factor here for me, since it can potentially cause some big burst damage for my units, and it can charge further than the Giants. If Steven concentrates his firepower, I could be in serious trouble. Now let's take a look at the deployment, and then I'll go over my initial plan based on that deployment. Alright, so taking a look at the deployment, on my side, I've pretty clearly concentrated most of my firepower on the right side of the battlefield. So I'm pretty obviously broadcasting that I'm going to try to contest that 1 point there, and then have those bowmen probably sneak up there behind that bog to stay a little more safe from being charged. And then I've very obviously got my trappers on the far left flank there for them to just sprint up there and grab that point. So Steven's going to have to decide whether he wants to just crush the main part of my army or divide his forces to deal with both of them. And Steven's deployment, he doesn't have everything spread across the map. He's kind of hedging his bets a little bit. He's got everything kind of on one half of the map, so he can kind of flex that leftmost giant and that mammoth over to the trappers if he wants to, while keeping most of his giants focused on the main part of my army. So here's the initial plan as I see it. No big surprises for me. I'm going to be pushing up into that rightmost point, and then I'm going to stick those bowmen behind that bog to just keep them a little bit harder to reach and a little bit harder to stomp down. And then I'll shoot anything that I can get to in range, while keeping that center objective in range of the bowmen, so they can chip away at any enemy that goes for it. And like I said in my army description, the mammoth is kind of an X factor here, and based on Steven's deployment, that's remaining the case here, because the way he has him, he could flex him over there to the left flank and attack my trappers, or he can commit him with the rest of the army to crushing the main part of my army. So we'll see how what he decides to do with that. All right, and one technical note before we begin. Just like last game, I must confess that I screwed up my camera operation. So at the end of this game, there's going to be one round of the game, the final round of the game, pretty much, that is not going to be shown on camera because my phone either ran out of battery or hard drive space. I can't remember which, but just like in our last battle report, I will attempt to compensate for that failure by covering all the moves that happened in that game in the last round of the game over on like one of our deployment top-down views. So I have good notes on how the rest of that game unfolded, so we can kind of still go through the end of that game fairly quickly in a really quick blow-by-blow review. So with all that said, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
All right, I'll go second.
Okay. So I'm going to do a start of friendly turn effect. I'm going to play Finger Dance on Victarion's unit over here. So Finger Dance is target one friendly combat unit, attach this to them until the end of the game. While attached, when performing a melee attack on enemies with the same or fewer ranks, before attack dice are rolled, the defender becomes vulnerable. And if any enemy with the same or fewer ranks attacks me, I become vulnerable.
Okay. And my solo ranks count as what with rank?
Yeah, that still counts as one for them.
One.
Yeah.
Okay.
For the objectives, it counts as your wounds, but
Yeah.
for stuff like that, it counts as one.
Okay.
So until these guys are beat down pretty hard, I'll always be vulnerable, like giving you vulnerable when I attack you. This used to be not just melee, but it used to be ranged, and it was like always stapled to the bowman.
Yeah.
But of course, they like nerfed that because Greyjoy needed nerfs apparently. So I'll do that, and then I'll take Balon, and I'll put him on the tactic zone. Draw 2 cards. And then I'll put a... Do you want to use my tokens for yours, or you want to use your own tokens?
I'll use mine. That's fine.
Okay. I'll put a weaken token on Mag. And do the Savage Giants roll on... are they a 3-up now, or are they still a 2-up?
They're 2-up.
Still a 2-up? Okay.
I'm pretty sure. Yep, they're 2-up.
Okay. Okay, that's it for me.
Okay. So you didn't move a unit?
Nope, I just activated against you.
Oh, I see. Okay. All right, I will. I will panic. Who's your worst?
Oh, yeah, so these guys are 8, these guys are 8, these guys are 5, these guys are 7, and the Drowned Men are a 5. I forgot to mention them. They,
Yeah, I know what they do.
okay. So 5, 5, 8, 8,
I'll do
7.
the archers.
Archers? Okay. So I go to a 9. All right, okay, back to me. I'm gonna take Wendemir. I'll put him on the bag, and I'll zone replace to give himself an order.
Okay.
Is he 6 or 5?
5.
I thought he was 6.
Is he 6? He is 6. Short myself.
That's right.
I thought all my guys were 5.
I'll activate the archers. They're going to suffer a wound because they're going to take an action.
Yep.
And then they're going to I think their move is still a 5, right? Yeah, 5. They're gonna march.
Oh, that's a monster. Yeah.
And they're touching the bog, so they lose 1 inch of movement.
Yep.
Yeah, because he's 11. So plus 2.
Let's see here.
Go ahead. You're doing the measurement.
Yeah, I'm just gonna measure, see if I can. And for ranged, I measure from there. Just see if I can get into shooting range if I shift, because I'll only shift 1. Usually you'd shift 2. I think I'm just out.
Yeah, barely.
So maybe if I pivot a little bit here.
And it is those ones that I'm defensive. These are going to be 3.
So here's the 2. Oh, a lot of time. So the 2 into that unit.
Then I blocked this guy though.
This unit is broad side, take one. Take 9. Would have done it on a 6 Just wait till it's my turn when I have to fight
The 2 into the other unit.
Sorry, I know I'm getting them all squiggled around here. I think that's about where he was.
1, 2, 3.
Okay. Yeah, he wasn't going to be able to shoot him shifting 1 inch, but let's see. There he is.
All right.
I'm going to do a start of any turn.
Okay.
Or did you already move? Did you
No,
move?
I haven't.
Okay. I'm going to do a start of any turn to do their divide the spoils. So I'm going to take one of their pillage and give it to these guys over here.
Okay. So technically, this guy is closer. Okay.
Yeah, because it's a straight on shot. I think he's
So he
maybe
can
just
hit
in
that.
there.
Let's do 1 inch. That should keep him out. Okay.
Activate these guys.
It's just 20 attacks, 3 scores.
Okay, so trappers just marched. They have a 6 movement speed, so they just marched 12 inches up there.
Okay.
That's all the damage they can do. These were 3 more.
Are they short range?
What?
Are they short range?
They're not a ranged
Oh, they're not mid
unit.
range.
No. Yeah, they can't see him now. I like to be Victarion. These guys move 12 inches, or they're a 6-inch move too. So he's going to move up, march 12 inches. Are they a 6-inch or a 5-inch?
They're marching. So I'm trying to decide if I want to get into range of them or not. I mean, get into range or not. What's this charge? That should be a 5 plus a 3. Yeah. Okay. It's a march.
Okay.
Reminder, he's a normal giant.
Okay. I'll activate the Reavers, and they'll go in here. So they're only a 5-inch movement speed, so they'll march right up to here. Does that land on that bog? Nope.
What is this one again? Sorry.
That one is fortified and hindering, I think. Let me check. Destructible, fortified, hindering. So when you're charging somebody through it, they get +1 to their defense dice roll.
Okay.
And then hindering is you lose your reroll, your charge rerolls.
Got it.
All right, that's the Reavers.
One of them can only be done by the human government. Kill 3 of your units and shoot.
I mean, that sounds doable.
Yeah, if you're doing the human's government. Charge 3 L4. That also sounds like it's pretty doable.
I'll activate the Drowned Men.
There's no dwarf who can die.
They have a 5-inch movement speed, and they're gonna maneuver.
An objective, take an objective that you control, and all my units on it have suppress the unit and kill it. What's your at the moment?
And their order is short range. They're currently in short range of these two guys, but not Victarion.
Okay.
All right.
Just without the 4 of word, and if you actually award these guys, they're probably not surviving. So I think the shooting is the only way I would unless I get these guys, but then it's on one blow.
Okay, I've just got Varus. He'll go on the sword. I don't think I can range anything here, so it's just gonna passes. Well, do nothing basically. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention with the new update, since I have more activations than you get the 2 pass tokens.
Yes.
So it's 1 pass token can be used per round to pass. Since I think you have 7 activations to my 8.
Yes.
Yeah. So you can use one token per round, up to twice.
Two,
Yeah. Okay, it's the end of round 1, and we start scoring in round 2.
Yep.
First player goes to you. I'm gonna discard the Iron Price twice. Get rid of both of them. I'm gonna discard also Blessed with Stone, Blessed with Steel.
Okay.
Draw 2 cards. I
5.
think more of you. I mean, you can pivot before you charge, so you can get in my flank that way.
All right. So I need a.
Shortest point to.
Oh, to what?
Yeah, so like you could measure it from there.
Okay.
So like whatever that is. That's 2. Yeah.
Oh, you want to go over there?
What? Oh,
Sorry.
that's fine. No, that's fine.
Got a 3.
So you got 3.
And he gets 6 dice. I don't remember exactly what he does. Critical blow, sundering. Before rolling attack, the defender becomes panicked. Okay.
And then they have disrupt, so whatever your to hit value is, it goes up by 1. So is he a 3-up?
He is a 3-up.
Okay, so you go to a 4-up, which only affects
No,
one
no,
of
he's
your...
a 4-up, so he's a 5-up.
Okay. You get rerolls anyway.
Yeah.
So it's just, yeah, those 3 there. Okay, so you got 2 critical blows, so that's 2, 4, 6,
Yep.
right?
Yep, 6 hits.
Okay. So 6, and these guys are already on a 6, so Sundering isn't going to do anything to them. So I save 1, take 5, so I go down to this guy, and then panic on a lot. So they're an 8, 9 in the flank, and you said he's vicious, right?
No, he's not vicious. Critical blow and sundering.
Okay.
But they got a panic token. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're 8, 9 in the flank, so they go to a 9. And pass
I'll
it.
make you reroll those 2. Roll the 6.
The 6? Okay. Okay, so he fails. They take 3. Well, they'll take 2 now, because he's lost 1 rank. So with unyielding, it reduces the wounds they take by 1 for each rank removed. So they'll take 2
Total
more.
of 8.
Yeah. So 5, 6, 7 thing.
And the panic token goes away.
Oh, yep. Thank you. Okay, back to me. So that was his activation, right?
That was. Yep.
Okay. So I'm going to activate Balon. Actually, I'll activate Varys. I'm going to put him on the sword.
Yep.
And I'm going to have these guys attack.
Yep.
But first, I'm going to reorient myself here. Like that. And I'll go 50-50 so that I pick up the token.
Okay.
And then I'm going to play Sustained Assault. So it's when a friendly unit is performing a melee attack before rolling attack dice. If it began the turn engaged, it rolls its highest attack die value.
Okay.
So instead of being a 5 going to a 6 with Boldness and Courage, I'll be 6 going to a 7. So it's not that big of a deal. It's more I'm more just trying to cycle my hand more than anything.
Okay.
So I think I gain a whole one die out of this. Yep. So 7 on 4s. Not too bad.
Yep.
So 5.
Okay. I have.
Oh, sorry. They have a start of any turn. Do you mind if I do their start of any turn?
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm going to weaken you, so I can weaken or give you a weaken or vulnerable.
Okay.
I'm going to give you a vulnerable or a weaken. I think. What are your? You have 8 wounds.
This guy has 8. Yeah.
8 wounds. Okay. Yeah, I'll give him a weaken token.
Okay. So he's on 3s. Just takes 2 wounds.
Okay. It takes a panic at a just normal panic value.
Yep. And his panic is 6s. Seven.
All right, it's good to go.
And 2 wounds.
They'd use their order. And start of any turn, so start of your turn,
Yep.
I'll use these guys, divide the spoils order again, to hand this other pillage token off to these guys.
Okay. Such a good ability.
Yeah, it's kind of counterproductive, or it's sort of counterintuitive with putting it on the bowman, because you usually want them far away from stuff to shoot stuff.
Yeah.
But I think it's, if you can get the bowman to start with pillage by putting Euron in there, then it's good, because usually at the start of the game you're kind of moving up together, so you have a couple of turns to hand pillage off while your units are moving up.
Yeah.
But normally the only way they're going to get pillage is if they attack something in melee, which, I mean, that makes no sense for these guys to be gaining pillage that way. So these guys kind of have to gain pillage either through Euron or through like Eric Ironmaker, the NCU who can hand out pillage, just kind of remotely.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's kind of making the most of the nerfs that the bowmen got, because they used to be awesome. They would just hand pillage out from long range from whatever they were shooting.
I'm gonna charge.
Okay, he's a 5 movement.
That gives me a.
I think that's.
I need a 4. No, I'm not charging.
Yeah, it's a 4 up.
So the cannon will be -2. The long rifle, I think, will be -1. Yeah. So do you plus on the hit from him just being there? Yeah. As well. 3 6 shots for the that's the just 1 shot from the long rifle. This 3 6 shots.
Okay, that's it for that activation.
Yep.
Okay. I will take.
Actually, I'm gonna use Craster. Is that okay?
Okay, yeah, that's fine. I'll take Balon, put him on the bag over here. Put 3 of these guys back.
I'm gonna replace.
Okay. These guys are both the normal giants, right?
Yes.
Okay. It's a tough call. Part of me wants to just charge you before you charge me. And the other part of me is like, I do that, and now these guys can just. And there's 2 giants right there that can. And giants love to be injured when they're attacking things.
Yes. I think they're pretty weak on that first swing.
Yeah, pretty weak until they start getting beat up. Yeah, I'm going to play it slow. I'm going to activate the Drowned Men, and they're going to march.
Charges. We go with Gyro first, and then try to make it to Swarm.
So they're currently within short of all these guys.
Yep.
One of the bad things about facing giants as a Greyjoy army is I get pillage off of ranks that I destroy.
Right.
And you have
No ranks.
1 rank, I have to kill a giant to get a pillage token.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So I'm going to be operating with very little pillage in this game.
Screw it. Charging.
With which
Yeah,
one?
with this guy.
Okay. So he's like a
Don't get a reroll. That's not the worst thing for these guys.
So it's
I still get
takes
it.
you like 1 inch away from him.
Oh yeah, so I don't make the charge, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Panic.
That's good. Then that also means I can't grab that token because I think he's. I don't know. I think the token is like right behind him. I mean, I got maybe if I might be able to clip it if I charge him. You only have to touch it. You don't have to
Yeah, they'll cover it.
completely get on top of it. Well, so he's already activated, so I may as well try to slice and dice him. So let's put anything here. No. I'll activate Victarion, and he's gonna declare a charge on the giant.
Okay.
All right, he's got it. He's gonna go. So I can go. Can't go fully on him like that, so I have to go half on his tray, which is gonna put him like that. And just gonna click the objective, so he'll pick up the objective, which gives him precision, which is always handy against the giant. And then Finger Dance gives you a vulnerable token.
Okay.
And he also has Furious Charge, which will give a vulnerable token anyway. And he's got 7 dice with Sundering and Vicious. 7 dice on 3s with rerolls. Okay.
There's another 2 in there.
I'm just going to be greedy, I think, and just reroll all of it.
Okay.
Because you got the Giants rule, so you'll only take 1 wound for every 2 unblocked hits anyway, so I may as well try for some 6s. And no 6s, and worse roll, I think. So that's 5?
5 hits.
Or 4, excuse me,
hits.
4. So Sundering and Vicious.
On 6s, or on 5s, right? Yeah, 5s. Nothing. Or 2 damage.
2. And then -2 to the morale because of Vicious.
So he is on 5s, I think. Let's see. No, on 4s. 8.
So he's normally
He's
a
not
4,
normally 4.
and then he's normally a 4 or he's normally a 2?
He's normally a 4.
Okay, so you go to a 6, but I
Right,
think
so I
you're
got
still
8.
good. Yeah.
All right. Take 2. Charging.
Okay. Definitely good. So he can't go center to center, so he'll have to do the same thing that this guy is. Oh, actually, wait. So it's half to me, yeah. So you're like that.
Yeah. Okay. Now he rolls 1 die. Needs a 2 up. Oops, 2 dice. And then he gets 1d3 plus 1 wounds per
Per wound, right?
which he has none. So
Okay, so just be a D3.
Yep. I think it's just a D3, not D3 plus 1. On there it's D3 plus 1, then 1.
Yeah, I think it's just D3.
Yeah, D3. 2.
Okay. 2. And then he is vicious, right?
What's that?
He's vicious?
He is vicious, yes.
Okay. So I'm a 5. So go to a 7. And fail, take 2. And then you take the objective from me, because I failed the panic test. So I think I can shoot him in the flank. Actually, I can
Is he blocking? Is that other unit blocking that shot?
No, so as long as any part of your front firing arc
Okay.
is, as long as he's visible to any part, like even if there was like 2 units like that, as long as I could draw any line of sight
okay.
through it.
All right.
So yeah, he's good there. So I'll activate, and he'll shoot. He's going to take a wound for taking an action. And the question is, do I take another wound and use his order? I think I probably will. So then I'm just going to charge this guy up. What the heck. So yeah, I'll take another wound to use their order, the Strange Relics order, and I'll give this guy a vulnerable token.
Okay.
So they suffer another wound for doing that. And they'll shoot, flank shot with 6 dice on 4s with rerolls because they're shooting in the flank. Okay, so 4, reroll 2, 5. Too bad I'm not have precision here. So 5.
And these are on 5s, right?
Yeah, -1 to your armor.
Yep.
I'll just leave the vulnerable because I
Oh,
can't.
yeah.
It's no point because it's an odd number. So
All right.
I'll leave it. So 2 wounds. And then panic at -1.
Six, that's a 5. I'm good.
Okay.
Alright. Alright.
Yes, they put. Well, there's also a once per game reroll all hit rolls in the city's book for gun on the stick unit. So for the
See, that's a decent amount.
one pick one.
I'll activate these trappers,
Okay.
and they're gonna just smack the elephant again.
Okay.
So they're at 2 ranks with boldness and courage. They count as +1 ranks, so they go to a 6 dice. I mean, on 4s, nothing special as far as attack keywords or anything. So 2.
3s. Versus panic.
Yeah, maybe spells.
8. That's good.
I'll try 4. I'm gonna try to primal that so it goes off the air. But then I get primal back and give you an extra. So this means no issue or this guy. Give him -2 charge for school filters. We'll do chain lightning.
So I'll activate these guys.
Okay.
So they're going to activate. I'm going to charge mag.
Okay.
And I'm going to play Rush of Aggression. So when a friendly unit performs a charge before rolling a charge distance dice, this automatically counts as rolling at 6. And their melee attack gains critical blow. after it's been completed, unless the attacker was Victarion Greyjoy's unit, they become vulnerable. But they count as Victarion Greyjoy because they have the vassal, so they won't be vulnerable. So I still roll the die. There's kind of no point because I'm not going to get the charge rerolls because I'm going through the bog anyway. But this will determine whether I get to play tactics cards, which now I can't play any other tactics cards. They'll charge through here, automatic 6. I can't go 100%, I don't think. Maybe I can. Go like that, and they have 2 pillage, so they'll get 1 additional attack die.
Yep.
And then these guys, when they have 2 pillage, they can always reroll attack dice, so they'll still get their rerolls even though they're going through the bog.
Okay.
And if you're successfully charged, you become vulnerable, so mag becomes vulnerable.
Okay.
So they go from 7 to 8 dice. Okay, so Sundering, Critical Blow, and rerolls. Okay, there's Critical Blow. I have 3 misses. So 1 miss, so 2, 4, 6, 8, so 8 with Sundering.
Okay, so on 5s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. God, I'm rolling terrible.
What does he save on?
5s.
Or, oh, wow.
So take 6.
7?
So 6.
6? Oh, because of the,
Right?
wait.
No, so he
he's-
takes
So he takes,
1,
yeah,
2,
2, 3,
3.
right?
Because that's rounded down. So
Unless I want to use the vulnerable. I'll leave the vulnerable, so he'll take 3, right?
okay.
What does he have? He has
Yeah, 6.
6? Okay. Okay. And then a vicious panic. No, wait, he's not vicious, I don't think. Right? No, so just a normal panic test.
6.
This is good. Right. Okay, that was their activation. And are you activated out?
I'm all out. Yep.
Okay, I've just got an NCU. I'm going to do a start of any turn order. I'm going to use their Drown Men order to give these guys two of their buddies back.
Okay.
And then I'll take Wendemir and I'll put him on the crown. And I'm going to replace that with We Do Not Sow, which gives me an attack.
Oh, nice.
So I'm going to have these guys attack again, try to push some more wounds on
Okay.
1/1. So it'll be pretty much the same thing, but without critical blow. So it'll be 8 dice, Sundering, with 3 rolls. So miss 3. All right, got them all. Too bad I couldn't get the 4 6s on that last one.
All right, come on. Let's get some saves. So I take another 1, 2, 3. That kills it.
Okay. Now he gets to go ham, right? Gets a free.
Gets free attack.
It's a free attack on me.
4, 5, 6. That's 5 hits.
5. What, does he have vicious or anything? Probably, right?
He does
Vicious.
not. He
Yeah.
is. Yeah, he's vicious. Yeah.
Okay. So I just take 5 because I don't roll defense dice. Okay, so take 5. And then vicious, they go from terrible to terribler. So they go 7 to 9. Just make it.
Yep.
All right.
Okay. And I'm going to play.
Last of their kind.
Yep. Last of their kind.
Okay.
One other friendly giant performs an attack action or
No.
charge, and I'm gonna
I'm
have
gonna
to
pivot these
rotate.
guys.
Cannon, long rifle, and
Okay.
I'm gonna charge with this guy.
Oh, he gets a charge?
Yep.
Okay.
his
Gets one roll. And he does.
Just D3.
That's
right?
D3. Yep.
So he's a 3 up save right now.
2.
2. And
And
then.
he's vicious from behind.
Okay. So 2, 3, 4. So they go to an 11. They take 2 more.
His monsters
All right.
count as 5, and 5 or more wins counts 2. Unless you're fucking.
I think that is it for the
That is
round.
it.
It was a bloody one.
Steam something. Trash.
So for scoring purposes, you get 1 point.
Yeah, all of the 12-inch range.
I get that point over there.
And you get another point for killing the guy.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
And 1 for mag.
2 shots from the cannon.
So I'm going to start off by using Wendemir's order that he has to restore 2 to these guys, and then draw 1 card.
7 more.
And I have a start of friendly turn. I'm going to put Finger Dance back on these guys. Well, on these guys. And I'm going to take Varys, put him on the sword, and I'm going to swing these guys back around this way.
Yep.
Try to do some damage. And then I'll move off of that bog. Actually, do I want to do that? Because now I can be closer to the drown man. Let's see if the...
I'm gonna play monsters from the north when you activate.
Okay. What is it?
Basically.
Oh, well, they're not activating.
Oh, you're right. They didn't activate.
Yeah, they're not activating. Yeah.
Okay.
They'll go like that.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna play the Kraken's Wrath.
Okay.
This is when a friendly unit is performing a melee attack before rolling attack dice. I get certain bonuses based on who controls which zones. I control the sword, so I get precision for this attack, which might just completely backfire on me when he smacks me for like 15 wounds here in a second. So they'll have precision right now. They have 2 pillage, which actually gives them +1 morale, but I think I failed my panic so badly that it wouldn't have mattered earlier. And they have 6 dice on 2 ranks, but they'll have 7 dice because they have 2 pillage. And yeah, so 7 with Sundering and precision and rerolls. Okay, so 2 precisions. Reroll the 2. Fail that one. So 4, and then you become vulnerable because of the finger dance card.
Actually, I want that one too. He doesn't have a
You said how many?
It's 4. Sundering.
Yeah, these are all minus ones. So you get
2.
2. Okay.
Let me reroll this.
No, I'll leave those.
3 minus 1.
Okay.
And then it was two precisions too with the 6s.
So does that count as 2 wounds or is that 1 wound?
It counts as 2 wounds because those go straight through. And then just a normal panic.
4.
I think that's what you are, right?
Yeah. That was close. Tried to fail that. All right. All right, I guess I'll swing back before I die.
Yeah, I was thinking about playing
Well, that was a D6. So you want to? Oh wait. Oh, that was your attack,
Yeah,
right? So
yeah,
you whiffed it.
I whiffed it.
Okay. I'll take Balon. I'm going to put him on the bag. And I'll restore 3 to these Reavers over here. Actually, yeah, that's fine.
All right, at the start of this turn, I'm going to use my once per game ability and heal this guy for 2.
Okay.
And then can't believe I missed that. All right. Then I will give them a panic check -1.
Okay. -1, so they go to a 8. Or wait, no, they go to a. They're a 7, but they have pillage, so they go to a 6, and then that brings them back to a 7. And I pass it.
All right, sorry. Can I use it?
Yeah, sure. Start of any turn. Let's see, do I have any start of friendly turn stuff? Start of any turn, I'll have these guys give the elephant a vulnerable
Okay.
with their order, which put that back on them. And I'll activate these guys and try to finish, well, probably not finish off the giant. You want to do your
Monsters from
monsters?
the north, so they get a panic check at -1 for each in short range.
Okay, so that's 2. -2,
I
right?
think you might get.
Yeah, he's like just in there. So 3.
-3.
So I go to a 9. 9 up. Take 3.
Yep. And then you take minus an additional 3 per 3. So you take another 3.
Take another 3.
Yes.
Okay, so they will attack. He's already vulnerable.
Yep.
Down to 4 dice, which goes to 5 dice. So 5 dice with Sundering, and let's see if I want to do anything here. I'll play Sustained Assault. So this is when a friendly unit is performing a melee attack before rolling attack dice. If they began the turn engaged, I roll my highest attack die value.
Okay.
Second part doesn't matter because I already get rerolls. So I'll be at a 7, 8. So 8 dice with rerolls on 3s.
But you only
Okay, so 6.
On 5.
I'll vulnerable the successes.
Kills him.
Does he only have 5 wounds or 6 wounds? I thought
He
he had 6.
has. So that's an additional 3 wounds.
Right, and he only has 2 right now, right?
Oh, you're right. So he's got 1 left. 2. Okay. All right.
And panic, just normal panic check. That's good.
All right. So attack here.
This guy?
Yep. Oops, I'm rolling 1 die. Doesn't matter. Hit for 3.
3?
Mm-hmm.
Over here.
And he's vicious.
3 plus some,
The
right?
3 total.
Oh, 3 total. Okay.
I rolled a 1.
Okay, gotcha. So 3. And you said vicious?
Yep.
Okay, so I go from a 5 to a 7. Okay,
Easy.
pass. And then they have Dauntless, so when they pass a panic, or when they pass a morale test, they gain 1 wound back.
Okay.
And he has 5 wounds or 4
He's
wounds?
got 5.
5, okay. There's only 4 right there. I will activate these bowmen. And when they activate, I'm going to have Euron kill one of his guys. And then give that guy a vulnerable token
Okay.
with his order. And then shoot him in the flank.
Yep.
With 5 dice on 4s with rerolls.
Does he get a? Is he in short range or is he long range?
He's a long range archer.
Okay.
So 3 and rerolls. Okay, so just 3.
And I gotta roll 6s. No, 3s.
They're not sundering, so
Three,
it's just a flank shot. So
5s.
just like sundering, basically.
So 1 wound.
Yep, that kills them, though, right?
Yeah.
Okay. My guys take a panic test because they shot into melee. And my guys are on a 6. And they die too. So you get a point for me killing myself. I get a point for killing a giant.
All right. Attacking again over here.
Okay, the other giant.
Yep. Another 3.
Okay. And another vicious panic test, right?
Yes.
So I go from a 5 to a 7. Got it. I heal 1 from Dauntless.
Of course, you can just bring those guys back. So
What?
you can just bring them back.
I could. Definitely could. The question is, do I want to bring them back or do I want to bring these guys back if they get stomped? That's the $1 million question. But I can't bring them back
Those
this
force
round.
tokens
'Cause-
go with the, that unit, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. So I'll have to remember if I bring them back, they come back with that. So they've both activated then,
Yes.
and it's just the elephant that hasn't activated, and then Craster.
Yep.
Okay. So I will. I'll start of any turn. I'm going to have the Drowmen use their order to heal 2 onto these guys.
Okay.
And then I'm going to activate the Trappers.
All right. I'm gonna make them make a panic check.
Okay. This is Monsters of the North again?
Yep.
Okay, so it'll be a -1 and +1 wound.
Yep.
So they go from an 8 to a 9. And they got it.
Make it.
Because they're not panicked anymore, right? Yeah. Okay. And they will attack on 4-up with count as full ranks because of boldness and courage, so 6. I think I have anything here. No. So 6 dice on 4s.
Oh, yeah, parasols were using it.
So 3.
Yep.
God, man, the mammoth just cannot save his life. He's 8 wounds, right?
8 wounds, yeah.
So is he down to 1?
He's got 4, 5, 6, so he's down to 2.
And then just a normal panic. Thanks. You can only
I
suffer.
rolled. Last time we played it was like that too.
His mortal wound is
Ouch.
full rush, and it is a shooting attack, so he can't return.
That mammoth has some of the worst luck I think I have seen in a pachyderm, and I've had some pretty bad elephant games myself.
Yeah.
Not war mammoths, but
The Golden Company.
Golden Company variety.
Yeah.
So you've just got Craster left.
Yep. All right. I'll put a weaken token on them.
Weekend. Okay. I'll activate the Drowned Men. So I'll activate the Drowned Men. You're all activated out, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So the Drowned Men, I think they're still in short range of both of these guys, so they're just gonna sit there, I think. Maybe they'll just go like this. Just go like there. And Windermere is gonna go over here and just give himself an order token.
Okay.
So zone replace, give himself an order. And then these guys are gonna swing. These have the same.
Yeah,
they have the same wounds, right?
Yeah.
They
They both have vulnerable tokens.
Okay. Yeah, I'll attack this guy then since he's got the objective. I can maybe take it back from him if he fails a panic test.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna. So when he activates, I'm gonna play Blessed with Stone, Blessed with Steel. When a friendly combat unit activates, target one enemy, engage with that unit. For each of that enemy's destroyed ranks, this unit restores 2 wounds, which does nothing because you don't have any destroyed ranks. But it says if you control the bag or the sword, restore +1 wound or remove 1 condition token from that unit for each of those zones you control. So I'm gonna, since I control both of them, I'm gonna remove the weaken token and then restore 1 wound. So they go to full ranks. And then he'll swing into that giant there.
Okay.
So he's got 7 with Sundering and Vicious. No rerolls though, or anything like that. All right. Well, this is where my phone ran out of battery power or storage space. So I'll give a brief account of how the rest of the game unfolded. For this, we'll turn to our handy-dandy top-down diagram of the battlefield. So, the Silenced Men attack, which you saw me roll the dice for, put a couple of wounds through in that giant, and then round 3 ended right after that, I believe, without any other activations. And in round 4, the 2 remaining giants took Victarion and the Silenced Men to Pound Town, splatting him after some blows were exchanged. So I think one of them hit Victarion, almost killing the Silenced Men, and the Silenced Men, I believe, swung back, did a small amount of damage, and then the Silenced Men were finished off by the other giant. And then the giant that killed Victarion's Silenced Men tried to overrun into the bowmen, but he failed the charge, and then he hilariously failed the ensuing panic test, dropping dead in the middle of the battlefield from either fright or complete humiliation. I then activate Balon, NCU, and use his once per game to respawn the Reavers behind the remaining giant. I chose the Reavers because they were already charged up with 2 pillage tokens, and they had a higher damage ceiling than the Silenced Men, who had no pillage on them. Steven then activates Craster and takes the maneuver zone to spin that giant that I was flanking around to face the Reavers so that he doesn't take a rear charge. I then charge the Reavers into the giant, but terrifyingly I do not kill it. The giant now swings at my Reapers, taking them down to only 5 or 6 wounds remaining. I then shoot into the melee with my bowman, doing 0 wounds to the giant, but causing my Reavers to take a panic test, which they of course fail, and then suffer 2 more wounds from. The Reavers, I think, are now on just 1 rank, and at this point I also move up the Drowned Men to grab that objective that the giant that dropped dead in the middle of the battlefield dropped in round, and then after this we go into round 5. So I'm first player in round 5, so I open up the round by taking the combat zone and then playing Kraken's Wrath to give the Reavers precision. And I just need to push 1 wound through on that last giant, and I roll my dice, and I do get a 6. I roll 1 or 2 6s, killing the giant and then winning the game. Alright, so how did this game go? This was my first Greyjoy game since the Season 3 update, so I was pretty excited to give him a try. On the whole, I must say I enjoyed how the Greyjoy changes affected the faction. I don't like every change, and I have some more detailed thoughts on those changes, but I'll reserve those thoughts for one of our Hits and Crits collaboration videos that'll be coming up soon, in which I'll go over the Greyjoy changes in some depth. We'll have that faction video coming out pretty soon, so stay tuned to the channel for that one. Now let's quickly run through the round-by-round action of the game, and then I'll provide my final thoughts on the game. Alright, so at the end of round 1, things unfolded kind of pretty much how I expected them to. Like I mentioned at the start of the video, the only thing I was unsure about really was what the Mammoth was going to do. So my forces moved up. Steven's Giants moved up a little cautiously. They didn't move up as fast as they could. I think, were not wanting to overextend. I moved my trappers up on the left side there, and then Steven made it clear that he's going to send his Mammoth over there to those trappers. So at this point I'm a little bit worried about how tanky these trappers are going to be. I'm thinking to myself, as long as they survive the first charge and then don't just completely get snuffed out by the Mammoth on the charge, that they could probably survive for a little while, and I could maybe heal them back up. All right, so at the end of round 2, it's been a pretty bloody round. The Mammoth charged into the trappers, and thankfully I survived the charge. And now I'm stuck in melee with them, which I feel pretty comfortable about, because I know at the start of the round, or at the start of any turn really, I can throw a weaken token on them once per round, so I'm at least going to be taking 1 probably weak attack from the Mammoth, maybe 2 if he takes another attack off of the combat zone. And the Mammoth is a 4+ to hit, so in melee with the trappers with Disrupt it goes to a 5+, so a Mammoth hitting me on a 5+ with a weaken token is not going to be too scary for me. So I'm pretty happy about the fact that those trappers are stuck in now. On the other side, I managed to Alpha Strike Mag pretty much, take him out along with the help of some good rolls by me and some terrible rolls by Steven. The Silenced Men are engaged with 2 giants on the far right flank, and my Reavers are not looking too happy right now, getting flanked by that other Savage Giant. Alright, at the end of round 3, this is where my phone died. And you'll see the Silenced Men are still in combat with those 2 Savage Giants over there. I've tried to be careful not to wound them both badly, so that the Silence Men don't just get completely crushed. But as I explained in my kind of rundown of how the rest of the game went, the Silence Men ended up getting squished. But I'm still feeling okay here because Mag is gone, the Mammoth is gone, and I still have a Balon once per game in my pocket to bring a unit back, so I can either bring those Silence Men back when they die or bring the Reavers back. So I'm still feeling pretty good. I have more, I'd say, more battlefield control than Steven does at this point. He has 2 giants all the way over there in that far side. I have the Trappers totally safe on one side. I have the center objective I could go sprint to if I really needed to. So even though my Silence Men are probably gonna go down here pretty soon, I'm still feeling okay here. All right, by the end of round 4, I've pulled ahead substantially in the points. One Savage Giant died from overexcitement or whatever, and trying to charge the Bowman. I've snatched away that point with the Drowned Men, and I brought the Reavers back from the dead with the Balon once per game. So at this point, I think both players know how this game is going to go. There's really no way for Steven to pull this one back. So we play out round 5, even though we both know pretty much how it's going to go. Round 5, I'm first player, so I just put one more wound through in that giant, and that's a wrap for this game. And I take it with a score of 8-4. All right, so now for some of my thoughts. When I showed up to this game with Steven and realized he brought a Mag monster list, I was pretty concerned that my faction's signature gimmick was going to be a non-starter, since all of Steven's units only had 1 rank, and they would starve my army for pillage. Thankfully, though, I brought the Euron attachment of my Bowman, so I knew I could at least be guaranteed to get 2 pillage tokens out. Greyjoys aren't known for their heavy armor or high morale, so the prospect of being charged by a Mammoth and Giants didn't give me a lot of confidence in my chances of success. But I guess one good thing about facing Giants is that armor doesn't really matter, so even if you're a heavily armored Baratheon player, you're still going to get squished by the Giants. I made some positioning mistakes in the game, especially with regard to aligning properly on the Giants' trays, but I call these out with little rules callouts during the game. I also completely forgot to use any of my Varys tokens, so for this game, Varys was essentially just a 4-point blank NCU. I literally did nothing with him, so that was a little embarrassing. It's pretty obvious that I was not accustomed to playing with Varys, because I didn't have that muscle memory. I was pretty pleased with how much damage my Reavers were able to inflict on the Giants, especially once they were charged up with pillage, giving them an extra attack die and rerolls. I was also pleasantly surprised how well the Trappers were able to hold up against Steven's Mammoth. Granted, Steven had horrible luck with his Mammoth's dice rolls, both offensively and defensively, but once the Trappers survived the initial charge of the Mammoth, I felt pretty confident about being able to grind that Mammoth down. The updated Trappers are now able to dish out 1 token before generating any pillage, so I could always ensure that Mammoth was weakened when I wanted it to be. And the weakened token combined with Disrupt put the Mammoth at a 5+ to hit. So, 5+ to hit, and then let me reroll, or made Steven reroll any successes. So I was pretty sure I'd only be taking 2 or 3 wounds per attack, and then maybe a couple of panic wounds. The Trappers rolled like absolute bosses, though, so they took even fewer wounds than I expected. I found the Bowmen pretty underwhelming in this game. Besides providing the Reavers with pillage, their body count was composed entirely of friendly units from the panic test they inflicted upon me. Perhaps against a more conventional target, like an infantry tray or a calf tray, they would have performed better. For Steven's part, he ran a pretty fun list. I always love seeing monster lists on the table, and Mag is the only free foot commander I've actually ever played. I think Steven's list was a bit too restrictive, narrowing his options to pretty much just charging forward into my army. I think if he had dropped 1 Savage Giant and brought along an infantry unit or 2, or Varamir and another NCU, his list would have been much more flexible. Steven might also have been better served to keep his Mammoth with the rest of his army. using it to crash through my bowmen instead of the trappers. The trappers would have scored a point every round, but if the mammoth had instead helped to destroy the rest of my army, those few extra points from the trappers wouldn't have really mattered much. I think perhaps Stephen thought the trappers would be more fragile than they turned out to be. Also, there's no way that Stephen could have predicted how bad the mammoth's dice rolls would be. Well, that does it for Battle Report number 19. I want to say a big thanks to my opponent, Stephen, for his time and for agreeing to be featured on the channel, and thanks to the Forge in Houston, Texas for hosting. If you haven't already and you're enjoying this channel's content, please consider liking this video, commenting, and subscribing. It helps out the video's visibility tremendously. Also, if you haven't yet watched any of our Season 3 update review videos in collaboration with the Hits and Crits channel, please check those out as well and subscribe to Hits and Crits for more great A Song of Ice and Fire content. I'll provide a link to that channel in the description. Until next time, this is Randall, signing off.